What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching. So this video is to kind of give you guys some information about some things that are going on with Replay Arcade and the channel. If you remember back, those of you who've been watching Replay Arcade and you watched the Super Mario DS episodes, you may remember Tony discussing his aunt who suffered from alcoholism and was in very bad shape. Tony, I believe, was at the hospital, I want to say it was about 4 days ago, and his aunt passed away. Now, Tony has been awesome about coming here and being on time and giving me lots of content to give to you guys. And I want to thank Tony for putting everything he's got into coming out here and being an excellent co-host for the show. And honestly, without him, Replay Arcade wouldn't really be doing any episodes. And Evan is definitely going to come back, but he is so overwhelmingly busy all the time with his job that he's just working like 72 hours a week, and on top of, working, he's got obligations to his wife and his home. So it's been really difficult to get Evan to come out here, and without either one of those guys, I don't have a show for Replay. I just don't have anything that I can do. And Tony came out here and we pumped out a lot of content for The Last of Us. And today, the last episode of, the last episode that we had of The Last of Us went up. It went up this morning. By the time this video comes out, you've probably, those of you who have been watching that, noticed that we didn't put out another one in the afternoon. And that's the reason why, is because Tony just hasn't been able to come out. I'm working on trying to get him to come out here, but I also know that he really needs to be with family, and I don't want to pressure him into thinking that, I don't understand, or that you don't understand, You guys have been very, very awesome to us, and any condolences that you may have for Tony, I'm sure he would be very much heartwarmed to know that you're thinking about him. So by all means, leave him your condolences in the comments below and let him know that you're thinking about him. He would definitely really appreciate that right now. And yeah, I feel for the guy because I know what it's like. I had an uncle who I was very, very close to who passed away, and at first it didn't really hit me. And it wasn't until, honestly, the years that go by and you think about him, or you think about that loved one, and, the pain doesn't ever really go away. You can cope and you can deal with those things, but when you start having memories and good memories that just pop into your head, you miss that person. And so I know what it's like to lose loved ones. I'm sure we all do. So once Tony comes back, I think I might do a video kind of like this with Tony, where we sit and we kind of discuss where he's at. I don't want to give out too much information about Tony, but one of the reasons why I invited Tony to come on to this show was because he seriously battles with depression. And he didn't have a whole lot of friends that were contacting him about hanging out or anything. And I've always loved Tony. Tony's one of the funniest guys that I've ever met. And I got to thinking about, maybe it would be good for Tony to be involved in something. And to tell you the truth, YouTube, I know what it's like to deal with depression. I battle with it as well. And doing YouTube helped me and still continues to help me deal with that. Because when I get views and I get likes and I get comments from people, it really helps me feel good about myself and what I'm doing, and that my endeavors are entertaining to people. And I felt like it was a good catharsis to be able to, I guess, use to, like, you know, deal with the depression. And it's helped immensely. And so I thought, hey, Tony could probably use something like that in his life. So I invited him to come on to the show. And he ended up really enjoying doing it. At first, I didn't know if I was going to have him on the show often. But the more I did the episodes with Tony, the more I realized that he was really good for it. And so I asked him to come back, and you guys responded well. So he became part of the Replay Arcade family. So I want to thank you for welcoming Tony onto the show and accepting him. I'm sure he definitely appreciates that. And again, like I said, when he comes back, we're going to do something like this. I'll probably do a little interview of Tony, and we'll see how open he's willing to be. Hopefully that's something that he wants to do. Anyway, aside from that, there are some things that are going on with the channel. I've been thinking a lot about, I really love doing Replay Arcade, and I'm going to continue to do it. It was one of those things that I was like, I'm going to give it a year and see how far it goes within a year. And at first, it was all specifically dedicated to the retro gaming stuff, which obviously I'll show you where I'm at with my library of video game consoles and stuff like that, kind of like through this little discussion that I'm having now. So you can see I have a lot of consoles and stuff. A lot of money and time has gone into preparing to do this show. So I want to continue to do it, but back when I decided to do the 10,000 subscriber contest, and I laid down the rules for that contest, I was getting some backlash from people. People were saying things like, you're desperate for views and you're desperate for subscribers. And then I would watch people like McJuggernuggets or, anybody else that... McJuggernuggets is the one that comes to mind. He just did a giveaway for his birthday, and he asked the same things of his subscribers that I did. Show me some love, like the videos, leave comments, because I want to know who my true fans really are. And people were butt mad about it. They got upset, at me when I did it. They got butt mad. But when a guy like McJuggernuggets, who has like 4 million subscribers, does it, it's completely okay, What I'm getting at is, I put up these contests because I want to give to my loyal subscribers. I want to give to those people who genuinely enjoy what I do. They're not just here for one kind of it. Well, I guess I don't really care if you're just here for one kind of video. If you like specifically my do-it-yourself tutorials and that's what you want to see, that's great. I love you regardless. It's, you don't have to like all the other things that I'm doing. But what I'm getting at is, in that whole discussion, there was somebody who made a comment about, I don't really watch Replay Arcade because I don't really know anything about those kinds of games that you guys are playing. Because they're, he's more than likely a young kid or a teenager who didn't grow up with the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis. He grew up in the years of PlayStation and PlayStation 2. And, you know, I mean, it got me thinking. It was like, well, maybe I should do things that are a little bit newer. Maybe I should start playing some newer games. And do Replay Arcade with that. So that's something that I want to do. And if that's something that you think is a good idea, let me know. Would you be more apt to watch Replay Arcade if I were playing, if we, Tony, I, Evan, if we were playing more recent games? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do away with, you know, the Super Mario Brothers and all that stuff, or the original retro games. I'm not going to do away with that, but bringing in newer titles seems like a very inviting idea to me. I do plan on getting Battlefield 1. I also plan on buying a PlayStation 4. My father, who has a gaming console, he plays the Xbox 360 right now. I'm considering buying him an Xbox One and getting him Battlefield 1 as well. And there's something that I want to do, and my friends have told me that I should do. My father gets super mad when he plays Battlefield. It's very entertaining, and I would like to buy another game capture and leave it over at my dad's and go over there when he's playing Battlefield and record him and bring a new show to you guys of my dad being outrageously angry. If that's something that you would like to see, because I want to see it, that's for sure. I definitely want to do at least one, but if it's an interesting idea. Now, here's the thing. My dad is like in his late 60s, almost 70 now. I think he turned 70 this year. I think. So if you can imagine that, you know, here's a guy who's old enough to be your grandfather, playing Battlefield, and he's good. Like, he doesn't suck at the game. He's really good. Which is, I think, funny by itself, but when he gets mad, it's unbelievable. I've heard him say some of the most colorful expletives I've ever heard in my life. I've heard him say things that I don't even know what it means. Let's mambo these motherfuckers. It's like, what does that mean? I don't know, but you're having a great time. And I... Anyway, yeah, that's something that I'm thinking about doing. But for you, what does that mean? PlayStation 4 in my hands means those of you who have PlayStation 4 will be able to play games with me finally. And I've had a lot of people ask me what my screen name is and stuff. You can actually find me right now on the PlayStation Network. My name is The Gutter Twin. There you go. I can't change it to Drumblanket, but when I originally started YouTube, I was The Gutter Twin. And that came from a band that I really like called The Gutter Twins. And that was my screen name, or well, it was my name that I used on YouTube for a long time. If you look up in the URL of my channel, it says The Gutter Twin in the, you know, like youtube.com/The Gutter Twin. That's like how you get here. You can still get here with /Drumblanket, but originally I was The Gutter Twin, and I was Gutter Twin on Xbox Live as well. Now, I did do a video about a month and a half ago discussing why I don't want to get an Xbox One or any Microsoft product like that for myself ever again. And that's why I will be getting a PlayStation 4. I think I'm going to wait until the PlayStation 4 Pro comes out, because I would definitely like to check out the virtual reality stuff in 1080p. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing, and it's going to be difficult for me to get that PlayStation 4 because I just bought a new car, and well, it's new to me. I finally sold the van. If you guys remember the video where I talked about this van got stolen, I finally got that van sold, and I went and put down an awesome down payment on a Dodge Magnum. So now I'm driving a Dodge Magnum, a man van, I hear people call it. When I bought it, it had 22-inch rims on it, super chromed out 22-inch rims with low-profile tires, and it's like, that is not me, you know? I can't deal with that. Plus, those low-profile tires are like $300 a piece, so I got rid of those. Well, actually, they're for sale right now. I'm trying to sell those as well. And I got new rims. I got just 18-inch rims with the regular tires, so it's not going to cost me $300 whenever I try to replace my tires. So, yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm still working at my regular job, and to pay this car off, I'm thinking about getting another job. So I've got a lot on my plate to deal with, and kind of, because, you know, I have new expenses now that I didn't have before. And YouTube, as great as I love, you know, as great as it is, and as much as I love doing it, it's not, you know, my main source of income with YouTube is ad revenue, and I just don't make but maybe $60, $70 in a month, and I don't get that every month. I have to wait until, you know, I'm at least at $100 before I get a payment from Google. I joined a multi-channel network not that long ago, which I'm sure no one noticed. And that's because they don't do shit. I joined Scale Lab. Scale Lab is one of the better networks, apparently, to join. I was only signed in for a 3-month contract, and that contract ends in November. The only thing that they benefited me with was getting me royalty-free music. But I'm a musician, so if I really want music bad enough, I can just write music. So they really, you know, it's not that they promise. Multi-channel networks don't give you, you know, a bunch of exposure. They give you some tools that you can use, but those tools are available to anybody. vidIQ is one of those tools. It helps me look at analytics of other people's videos, so I can see, you know, how much someone makes off of a video roundabouts. I can see all the countries that people are watching these videos from. I can see the tags that they use. And that's just something, like, you can just get that for yourself. You could get vidIQ right now. It doesn't cost anything. They have different tiers, you know, that do cost money, but the basic one is really all I needed. And I was using TubeBuddy before that, and that was something that I was paying for, like $16 a month, and it just wasn't really worth it to me. So anyway, a multi-channel network, if that's something that you're considering doing, only do it if you don't have like options like being able to create thumbnails the way you want them to look, or, you know, if you don't have access to, but I mean, really, that's the only thing I could, you know, if you're not a musician and you need royalty free music, like, awesome, they're great for that kind of thing. But as far as like getting you exposure, which I never expected them to get me any exposure, that's really all up to me and like YouTube's algorithms. But yeah, I'm just not going to sign up with them again next month because I can do it without their help, really. I mean, I'm not seeing any boost in anything from using them. So anyway, yeah, I joined a multi-channel network just to see what it was about. I joined one that was the smallest amount of sign-on time, and I'm glad that I did because now I know. You know, before I was just always super curious about it, and I noticed that a lot of really big YouTubers, I mean, almost pretty much all big YouTubers are signed in with a multi-channel network, you know. Frankie on PC is with Machinima. The Game Grumps are with, like, BD Network. Mr. Moon uses Studio 51. A lot of people use Studio 51. So, you know, it's one of those things where I thought, well, if all these big YouTubers are doing this, then there's got to be a reason why, and maybe I should too. At this time, I just don't see any point in doing it. So, there's that. I also have launched a Spreadshirt merchandise store. So you can go to Spreadshirt. There's a link in the description. You can check out the store. There are iPhone cases, there are coffee mugs, there are hoodies, there are sweatshirts, there are t-shirts, Drumblanket logos, and Replay Arcade, depending on what it is you like. I don't know how much revenue I will generate out of that because I've never really used Spreadshirt and I haven't really put a whole lot of time into that end of it. Mostly I just created product for you guys, so that way if you want a sweatshirt or a hoodie or an iPhone case or whatever, you can get that. So yeah, that, and I'm sure some of you have noticed if you've tried to go to drumblanket.com, it hasn't been up for a little while, and that's because I'm working with a new group, putting together a new website. It'll still be drumblanket.com, but we're revamping the website and trying to make it a little bit more appealing. And I wanted to kind of focus on the console mods with that website to kind of help generate more customers, people who want their consoles done. And hopefully this website will invite them, and they'll feel a little bit more invited or safe dealing with that. Not that my website before didn't look good. It's just, first impressions are everything. And if someone's looking up how to customize an Xbox One and they come to my website and it doesn't really grab you right away, the chances of them just leaving the website are kind of high. So I'm basically just doing a lot of renovating with my brand and my channel, and trying to bring new product and new things to you guys. So let me know what you think. Go ahead and check out that Spreadshirt store if you'd like. And don't forget to let Tony know in the comments below that you're thinking about him, because he definitely needs that right now. So anyway, if you have any questions, if you want to know anything, feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. I love hearing from all of you, every single one of you. Let me know if you have any suggestions, anything that you think I should be doing. I want to hear that because I want to know what you guys want to see. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I appreciate it. I really do. And I will see you in the next video.